Is Monday, a day that so many people doesn't want it because they believe that is when you will start the week, and then leaving the office, you meet so many things to set the pace of the week. But here in ECWA Television Africa, we love every day of the week because we believe God is in charge of every day that we have. So we are saying thank God is Monday because he allowed us to see this beautiful day for a reason. The reason is that so that we hear from this side, and you will have a platform to really talk, to discuss, and to share views and ideas on issues of life. And today on this program, and that is from the dailies, we will discuss what the papers are having, and then, like we keep doing, me and my sister Joyce Iyakwari, she's here with me, we will roll the papers and then pick some public interest issues and then go into them and then see what people are saying outside. I will bring it here and then discuss it. Joyce, good morning. You are looking bright.
Thank you. How was the weekend?
Well, we thank God, do work, but we bless God. At least this morning we are up and doing, we are fresh, and we bless Him because He bless every day for our sake. And that is why we are happy doing what we are doing.
Yes, true.
Yeah, let me go straight with the papers that I have. The paper that I have the News Direct with me, and then it's saying Continental Trade Investment. Buhari seeks 40 billion US dollar deals from Durban, South Africa. And then we have another story that said police arrest two with human head in Ogun. That's so sad. And then experts support integrity test of Ogun mega schools, condemn politicization of government decision. Terrorism, federal government denies alleged sponsorship, seeks prayers support. That's what the News Direct is saying, Joyce. And this issue of, I don't want us to start on that note. This issue of terrorism, what the government are saying and what the masses are saying. Honestly, and look at the time now, is now that we're talking prayers. Government is seeking for prayers
or support.
and support. Well, you can do well to pick your News Direct and then read more what even the federal government is saying, if that's your area of interest, to know what kind of support from who. And then if the prayer, how do they want it, you know?
Well, I will move on to Nigerian Tribune. Let's see what the paper is saying today. And the big story says APC, cloud over convention, aggrieved members fail to shift ground. And this story is on page 24 of Nigerian Tribune. We have consensus tears apart Plateau chapter. Matawale Marafa's feud deepens in Zamfara. APC National Secretary Apabio sustained supremacy contest. Ekiti APC faction insists on court case. Oyo chapter divided over harmonization of state ECWA. These are the riders for the big story. Then down we have downpour in Lagos damages houses, electric poles, vehicles. And this story can be found on page 26. Oyo's IGR growth result of hard work, and this is coming from Makinde. State ranked 7th on NBS State Half-Year IGR Index, page 29 of Nigerian Tribune. Terrorists have regrouped in Lake Chad axis. Ndume raises the alarm, and this is on page 2 of Nigerian Tribune. 19 million living with diabetes in Africa to rise to 47 million by 2025. WHO is saying this, and you can read more on health matters on page 29. Unilorin student beats female lecturer to stupor, page 26 of Nigerian Tribune. Ogun traditional ruler threatens to lead protests over attacks by land grabbers, and that also is on page 29. And we have how 1.5 trillion COVID-19 fund was spent, and this is from the Finance Ministry, page 8, and I think it's more like an accountability check. 1.5 billion released for 6 ICT, 24 vocational centers. NAFDAC, NIMR got funds for same project. Then jobs through home equipped, 200 billion Nigerian naira. APC released timetable for Ekiti Osun governorship poll, silent on mode of primary. And the writer says Olujimi, 8 other women join global race, attend PDP screening. That can be found on page 23 of Nigerian Tribune. And more stories, we have Electoral Act. Buhari will base his decision on public security, economic interest, and this is coming from Malami. Nnamdi Kanu, march word with action on political solution. Southeast monarchs, bishops tell Malami. Railway workers meeting with Amechi ends in deadlock. Planned strike will commence, and this is coming from the workers. And the story is on page 7 of the Nigerian Tribune. That's all for the stories being on the report today. If you have interest, you can get the Nigerian Tribune so that you can read more. We can see Malami still coming up on the news, talking about the Electoral Act and talking about also the political solution, which the Southeast monarch bishops, are telling him to match his word with actions. Then even the railway workers strike, that has to do with Amechi. And we have the downpour in Lagos, and you'll be wondering at this moment where we have a new season coming in, and we still have rainfalls, and it's still damaging some properties in Lagos. And Lagos has been in the news for flood, for some time, about flood and damages, and they're still in the news for that. And other states too, we've reported flood in other states too. So it's coming back, and it has damaged electric poles and vehicles. We have so many, just like you mentioned, you don't want to start on the foot of terrorism in Nigeria, but we have a report that said terrorists have regrouped in Lake Chad and Lake Chad axis, and over the weekend there was a report of the death of the brigadier general that was killed, and it has to do with a joint force, from the ECWA and the other group, which I think is the Libyan group. There was how it was put, but we lost him to that insecurity and terrorism.
It's so sad. It's so sad. Joyce, do you know how much it takes Nigerian government to train one soldier? That's a plain, just fresh recruit. Just one. And this one, we are talking of brigadier general. You see, there are certain things that are happening in this country. You wonder if this country is borrowed. The reason why I use that word, most people, when they borrow things, they use it carelessly. But when it's their own, there's a way they handle it.
Carefully.
So you begin to wonder, is this country a borrowed country? that certain things that we're supposed to put priority, and then we look at it. Okay, what is the reason that one of their commander is being killed? I thought by invading NDA, the most sensitive, that is where they trained all the military guys that today we beat our chest. We said, Joyce, we are grounded when it comes to intelligence, when it comes to food soldier. Think of it, air and the rest. That's where they train those guys. And you need to see them. You need to see those guys. And then other people from other countries, that's where they come to train those in code that stand out in their military formation.
True.
That's where they recommend they come to train them. So you can imagine the level of that particular institution of army or department. But this one, a brigadier general, that time I was thinking by just doing that, army will prove a point. That no, you have touched the wrong place, and will prove to you that we are in charge in this country. We have the men, we have the intelligence, we have the... And now, a big hit now, general, simply because of one commander that possibly, maybe, he didn't even go to school. Like, he didn't go to... How
Not even, no, it's not even about him going to school. It's about him causing nuisance in the society. It's about him being a terrorist in the society, you know. And if there is, we can't overemphasize the magnitude of the issue of terrorism and insecurity in Nigeria. Every day, just like I always say, one or the other, there must be a news about attacks on our daily papers every day. Every day you must wake up to one. It's either one hit, one attack, and now it's as if it's a strategic attack to even our military men. And it's so sad. I just want to say, may he so rest in peace with the Lord, and may the Lord comfort his family too. And this is of interest to the 19 million living with diabetes in Africa to rise to 47 million by 2025. And this is coming from WHO. You know, if we're talking health, there are so many angles to it, and this report is saying there are a lot of people, you know, already living with diabetes. They are diabetic, and it's good you do a routine check every time to see, okay, what is your issue, or what you are prone, or you are at risk of, so that you can at least take charge of it at the earlier stage, and even eat healthy or stay healthy. So that's all for the Nigerian Tribune.
Well, I have the Punch with me, and it says INEC lists COP members to conduct direct primaries. That you can find on page 2. INEC officials, federal government schools, lecturer agencies, commission workers line up. NYSC remains largest single pool of personnel available to INEC. Ex-director is saying that. And then Singaporean French firm by Courtney, 10 orders jostle for Nigerian 4 international airport. Now you can find on page 45. 1.1 million retirement account documentation incomplete, says Pencom. You can find that on page 59. I don't know what happened to camera I recovered at Lekki toll gate. You can find out that story on page 8. I believe the Fashola that is saying that none of our 41 members insured Ikoyi collapse building. That's NIA. That you can find on page 46. And then you have this that says group funds as Uni Ilorin female lecturer hospitalized over assault by student. That you can find on page 5. And then we have this that say Chevron, ExxonMobil orders to pay NNPC 156 million naira for crude export, that you can find on page 45. That is the much you can take for. That is what the Punch is saying. If you have interest, you can just quickly go to your vendor and then pick a Punch and go through the story of your interest.
Moving on to The Guardian. The Guardian newspaper, manufacturers lose 50% half-year profit to operating forest cost. And the writer says, epileptic power supply exchange rates raise cost of production by 30%. Stakeholders urge government to reschedule existing loans, grant tax holiday to firms. Local sourcing of raw material solution to forest scarcity, says Man. And we have a picture story, The Guardian publisher, Lady Maiden Alex Ibru gets courage to dream award. ECWA regrouping around Lake Chad. That, and this is coming in May, he's warning against that. Southern groups talk tough in C-zone must produce president in 2023. Iho Dalo, Peter Obi, others fault Buhari, say failed education system driving Nigerians abroad. And this is all for The Guardian newspaper. And briefly, I want us to talk about the failed education system driving Nigerians abroad. During the weekend, the president said it is because of the good education of Nigeria. That's the foundation that they have in Nigeria. That's why when they go abroad, they excel. What's your thoughts on that? And now, Ndume and Peter Obi and so many other people are saying it's because of the failed education system in Nigeria that a lot of people are going abroad.
You know, one thing that me personally, I always see is that the reverse is that's what is always playing. But it's just that you have to condition your mind by doing the right thing, just like what we keep doing and then keep saying. We talked about education here, and then the contents are there, you know, on Facebook and on YouTube. You can go back and see. Joyce, primary school is the foundation. How many government officials have their children in public school, public primary school, or public secondary school, or public university? The same people that are ruling us in this country, the leaders that we keep recycling, we see them, the only unifying stage or platform for them is when their children are graduating. But when it comes to politics, contestant A, B, and C, they will trade what? But you will meet them at the same school where their children are graduating. You will see them exchanging pleasantries and snapping pictures. These pictures are there on the internet. You could see our primary school. They don't have a good environment. Talk about the classroom. Talk about where to eat.
They are not well equipped. Most of them even sit on the ground, on the floor when they are attending to lectures. Like so many terrible situations in the school. And if you're talking about what they actually said, the failed education system driving Nigerians abroad, I don't think it's only the failed education system. I think it has to even do with the economy. People are tired. It's frustrating. People are tired of living the way they are living in Nigeria, in their own country. You know, they don't even have access to healthcare, no good road, they are exposed to attacks. You don't even know if you understand. You go out, you don't know if you'll be kidnapped. You're not certain. So many of these things, and you have a good education, or rather, you went to school, you got the qualification which is required, and you can't even get a job at the end of the day. While other countries are offering that, other countries have a good system. Other countries are ready to grow their economy. Other countries are even ready to employ you when you come. They are ready to give you the opportunity wanted. What will you do? Will you still stay in your country and still hope that yes, you can hope. You can pray and hope, but you have to fund for yourself. I always give this instance where an administration are in power and they are not doing anything. It's a waste of time, even on your own, because you'll be growing. If an administration took over, maybe let's say this year, and you are just 20, in the next 8 years, do you know how old you'll be?
28.
So it's a waste of your own time.
Because they always come with the mentality of 8 years. That's why they don't perform, Joyce. That's why they don't perform. Because you are coming, this is your first year, but you are thinking 8 years already. How to please people so that when you mess your first 4 years, at least they can allow you to come back so that you will please people.
Or that's when your tenure is about ending, that's the time you see the person or the people trying to refurbish some roads, trying to do one or two things at the end of the day so that at least they can come back to office. What are you going back to office to do? To waste people's time? If you cannot work, leave that office for someone to do it.
You see,
Nigeria is a great country. We have resources, we have creativity, we have people that are ready. And Nigerians are not lazy. They are not lazy at all. If you go out, you see how Nigerians are fending for themselves, even with the issue of unemployment in the country. One way or the other, they want to make ends meet for themselves because it's not even easy. Is it the gas, this thing we are talking about, the hike, which also will definitely read. We'll definitely read now in the papers again where there is more rumors that it will go up. There is the electricity tariff that is already in the paper, and there are announcements that people should get ready because they'll be paying more. How can a normal or a regular Nigerian afford things in his own country?
You see, the reason why we excel, the truth of the whole matter is that we are being the atmosphere have trained us, have groomed us to stand every weather. And then if you see Nigerian that is excelling there, is because he, after coming from such harsh environment or situation, and then you find a leveling ground where things are not that, you don't put like so many effort like you would kill yourself for things to happen. They happen once you are doing the right thing. So that's the reason why we are excelling. Is there's no any two way about it. And then Nigerians were blessed. Naturally, we are just blessed. So we thrive in any weather.
And
most especially when the weather is conducive, we do excellently well.
So it's not about whether there was a good education in Nigeria, that's why they excel. And no, it's in us. We are blessed. We are creative. We are people that we are not lazy. No one is a lazy Nigerian youth. And there's this saying that goes that in Nigeria, suffering and smiling. Nigerians are tired of living that kind of life, suffering and smiling. Right now, they are suffering and they are wailing. They are shouting it, they are showing their frustration, and that's why they are taking everything into their hands to see that, okay, no matter how much they save in this country, it is to go abroad, to go to other countries so that they can excel and so that they can have a better life where a system works, where there is security, where there is respect and dignity for human life. Let's go ahead, please.
Wow, God will help us this day. It says, with 559 days to go, Buhari on aggressive international investment drive from Saudi Arabia, France, now South Africa. Now South Africa. Present wooing investors. We are hopeful that that investment will come before he goes.
Yeah, he was in France the other day where he told the president, that's Emmanuel Macron, that youth or people that want to invest or want greener pasture, they can come to Nigeria. And there were a lot of comments on the post or the dailies, because he made the comments, and there were a lot of reactions of people saying if they don't want this good for them, they should better stay in their country. Like so many negative comments. And you see, that's the reputation of Nigeria. Nobody even we that in the country, people that in the country don't even believe in the Nigerian dream anymore. And you that is representing outside, going outside, say, okay, if you want a greener pasture, you should come. They will look at you as a joker.
It's true. It's true. Head of service threatened to sack 426 workers for rejecting posting. I wonder why. You see what we are talking. You see, it's a failure of the system, Joyce. Or what do you think? That's my own take.
Well,
400
for rejecting posting.
Yes, over 400 for rejecting posting.
Solo, to be honest, if you work in a place in Nigeria and at the end of the day you are being posted to maybe an epic center of insecurity, will you want to go? No. A lot of people, is the same thing with the call members, that a lot of people are calling to see that, okay, there are some certain places that you don't post call members because they are exposed to the risks of losing their lives, you know, or being attacked on the way, or and so many things, because these people are not even familiar with this place they are being posted to. Maybe they've never been there, and you know they are exposed to, and if there's anything, those are the first victims that will be attacked. So even if you are the one, I don't think, do you understand? I think we should make everywhere safe in Nigeria. Every other place should be safe, so that at least posting can be easier. And if you are sacking them, well, I don't know what to say about that.
Well, because if the rules are regulation of the particular setup or system, you know, says after 4 years you are leaving, and then after 4 years I'm posting you
out of the state to another. How
and
safe is the other states?
Yes, but that one we can say for the issue of insecurity and the rest, but it is more than that. I think they should tell us why they are even rejecting the posting, because if, for instance, we know that there are some postings that will say, okay, because you are retiring, so they will send you to a place whereby you will just go and retire well. We hear about these things. You will go and retire well, or because you did something that is right and they feel you are challenging the authority, now they want to transfer you to take you to a place that you will suffer in the name of punishment, but they will not tell you there is a punishment like that. So we have to know that what are the basis of those people even rejecting. To even reject, knowing that that's the policy, it's wrong. But I feel the head of service should just do the right thing, because what we are crying now is that let's see how things will be working from the normal stage upward, because we want this country to work. We don't want a situation whereby our country, our president will be talking outside, you know, and then people are laughing at him because of his statement, seeing that like he's just making a mere statement that there's no truth on it. A number one citizen, for that matter. I don't think it's right. The Saraki debate on direct primaries shouldn't scuttle electoral bill passage, that you can find on page 55 for those that love politics. Military, we are not planning to overthrow Buhari government. And it has so many riders there. It says declares loyalty to Constitution and then to Mr. President. If you have your vendor close to you, can just run and then pick this day and go through the stories that they have for today. And then the sad one says the Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, loses brother, Sani. So sad.
All right, moving on, I would like to take the Nation newspaper. On the Nation newspaper, we have man worried over looming 1.9 trillion naira revenue loss. That story can be found on page 23 of the Nation newspaper. 3,500 killed by cholera, says NCDC. 100,000 cases reported. NDLEA seizes 4.9 billion naira cocaine, heroin. World leaders, activists, COP26 deal disappointing. You can read our stories about the climate change. Governors to senators rep remove direct primary clause. And 2022 APC begins sales of form for Ekiti Osun governorship election. How federal government plans to utilize fresh foreign loans. New borrowings push Nigerians' debt stock to 52 trillion naira in Dume. ECWA regrouping in Borno North, and Minister knocks US group. And then that this is much I can take on the Nation newspaper. And over to you.
Okay, before we continue, we would like to take a short break. When we return, our phone line will be open. Once your call goes through, please move away from your TV set or totally reduce the volume of your radio so that, or your TV set, so that we can hear you and you will talk to the audience so that you can put your own view on what we are discussing or what the papers are having today. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for still staying with ECWA Television. This is the from the dailies from ECWA Television Africa. I still have Joyce Yakwari with me. We're doing this together, and our phone line is open now, so you can do well to call us and then have your own input on what the papers are saying today. I have Daily Sun with me, Joyce, and they are saying outreach over 54% hike in electricity meter prices. That you can find on page 20 and 22. Raising cooking gas prices, energy tariff worsening plight of Nigerians. This can are saying that we will resist fresh hike consumers, and I think everything is going out of hand.
And I stand together with the consumers who resist the fresh hike because it's unfair and it should be checked. And I, from the report, I heard that the people that bought their meters before now, like the former types of meters, there is no hike in it, but it's just the recent one. And you'll be wondering, okay, what are the differences? What are the issues arising for this hike? And why should there be hike even at this period? And we've been talking about electricity, we're talking about the problem of power supply in Nigeria and everything. Just like it's as if we predict things that are about to happen on this show. Because when we talk about one thing, we attack one problem that's talking about the gas increase. We wake up to another one, we wake up to another hike, the next day more hikes, and you'll be wondering, okay, what will be the, where do you stand even as an average Nigeria? Will you be able to afford this, or is just for certain people? It's like, okay, if you can't afford it, leave it for some certain people so that they can afford it and life will go on. Then you can even manage maybe your lamp and so whatever you have. It's so sad that these things are happening. But for more stories or for more information, you can get the Daily Sun paper so that you can read more on it and see if it affects you or not, or if it affects people that you know, or what you need to do, even with this issue.
You see, these are some of the reasons, Joyce, why people just feel they should get out of this country, because they feel, in my own motherland, in my country, I shouldn't suffer. There are some minor things that are supposed to be working naturally, but you find out people struggle for that. Like you are saying, where is the place of a common man? Cooking gas that they law us to eat. Because I remember when they are like, okay, please just try, and there was advert, and sensitization, then some NGOs and even government parastatals, that were like okay, we have to sensitize people. They have to go to gas. It's even cheaper with than kerosene. This one that you line 2 days before you get kerosene and the rest. Like, okay, people are just new. The common man have to know how to use the gas for the fear of,
Explosion.
and the rest. And now we're in it, and then this thing is happening. The common man will just feel they just scam him. You understand? Now the kerosene is nowhere to be found. Kerosene is competing with gas in price. The kerosene is not there. And then the gas that a common man will just use, how much now is a cylinder?
In some states, we have 850 per kg. And I think on the plateau is 800 naira per kg, because we've had so many reports of people telling us about the prices. So imagine if you're buying like 6 kg, that's 4,800. If you're buying like 10 kg, just imagine it. And that's 4,800. At least back then you could buy more kgs, but now you're settling for this. And like I always say, it's the end of the year where maybe you have budget for certain things, and now you have to break that budget, to be able to afford a lot of things. And is a holiday where family, friends visit each other, or they stay together, and the high cost of things for you to even afford things that will go around in the family. And it's so sad though.
It is well. We have revenue generating challenges. DG Budget Office is saying that you can find on page 29. US supports Nigerian editors capacity building programs with 93 million naira, that you can find on page 9. And NDDC, Niger Delta, opposes inclusion of Lagos, Bauchi, and Ogun. If you have interest on that story, just quickly pick your Daily Sun and go to page 6 and read more of it. And then we have the story that says Kanu negotiation with federal government on political solution at advanced stage. Ohaneze saying that.
Okay, moving on to Business Day, I would like to just take 2 stories here. The big story says Lagos rekindles hope in rail system 38 years after conception, and why foreign investors prevent Nigerian banks Eurobond to their stock. And that is all for Business Day. Let's move on to the next paper.
Okay, I have first news. First news is saying syrup petition UN over raid on Justice Odili home. EFCC detained MD of First Bank Holdings, Okonko, barely 2 months after appointment. Spillover of Alison Maduke's alleged scam cited. Then you have this that says 6 people killed as bandit launch fresh attack on Katsina communities. Then you have widow of Foursquare Church ex-leader Badinjo dies 4 months after Hosby passage. Dangote Group vice president dies. And then we have this Bond Lagos police station undergoing renovation. That's CP saying that. Insecurity, 72, including 2 army chiefs killed last week. So sad. So sad. We have this that says Anambra APC sacks publicity secretary for congratulating Soludo.
Well, moving on to Daily Independent, and banks hedge against new credits, prefer CBN LDR fines. This is the big story on Daily Independent. ECWA terrorists regrouping around Lake Chad, and this is Ndume saying it. 2023 presidential election, PDP must conduct fresh convention if North picks ticket, and this is Bode George. No concrete decision yet on zoning of presidential ticket, says party. IPOB asks Southeast governors to release Biafran detainees, and that story can be found on page 7. Military vows to deal with those drawing it into politics, and that is on page 7 also. Anyone who plots my government's downfall will go down, says Wike, and this is also on page 7. RMAFC assures on acceptable new revenue formula, page 29 of Daily Independent. Buhari attend IATF summit in South Africa today, and that story can be found on page 2. Oyo's IGR growth, result of hard work, and that is coming from Makinde, and the story can be found on page 30. Don't allow direct primaries, raw scuttle electoral bill, Saraki Okechukwu won. And those are the stories on the Daily Independent.
Okay, I have Daily Trust with me, and the big story says certificate H scandal rocks ICPC. Affected staff giving soft landing. It's routine verification, commission says. Mom on scandal. You have this that says Ikoyi building collapse, how we escape. Sokoto teenager laborer. General Zirkushun's death has caused fear in Chibok. That's in Dume saying that. Asu White in as Ilorin, Uni Ilorin lecturer beaten by student recovers. Nigerian editors get 93.3 million naira US grant for capacity building. That's a good one there. At least we need to build capacity, and then US are supporting with that.
Okay, that's all for your story. Well, before I go to the next paper, which is the blueprint, even as we wrap up on the show today, I just want to remind our viewers that this is the time where you can call to send in your contribution or drop your comments on our social media platform, because we're on Facebook and also on YouTube. And you should know that your contribution means a lot to us. It shows that you're watching and you are interested in what is happening in your country, even as we bring awareness and information to you. So moving on to the blueprint, I have you are a distraction, pesky irritant, and says group want to weaken ongoing insurgency fight. This is FG replies US base gate on terrorism. The Nigerian earns more from non-oil revenue. And this is Osibanjo saying that, and the story can be found on page 24. Zamfara crisis, I don't care if APC implodes, and this is Marafa. Conduct parallel Congress, threatens court action, ex-lawmaker sinking politician, and that is Boni saying that inflation beyond forces of demand supply. Rwanda, and that is on page 23. Why banks need to forge partnership with fintechs, and it is CR2, and that story can be found on page 23. Zamfara, 4 months after bandits free 3 kidnaps 3-year-old, and demand 40 million naira ransom for 13 Zamfara local government workers. An 80-year-old victim rescued in Kano. The story can be found on page 5 and on page 8. Suez, Unilorin, 400 level student injures lecturer, page 18. And how ECWA killed Army General in Borno, and the report is from Ndume, that's on page 5. Obey court order, release my son, widows tell police, and that is on page 14 of blueprint. Nigeria not among top investment destinations in Africa, and this is a report which can be found on page 23 of blueprint. And these are the stories on the blueprint newspaper. And of interest is the University of Ilorin student who beat his lecturer to stupor. It was reported that I think he went for help, to seek for help from her, and she rejected, telling him she followed the due process. And, you know, he pounced on her and he beat her to stupor, and she was in coma. But it's good that it's reported that she is stable right now, and at least it wasn't really, she didn't sustain a lot of injury. So it's so sad that a student can do that to a lecturer. See what we're talking about, the education system. We said even on today's life, it's not about the kidnapping or whatsoever. It's about even the ills in the school. We have Sunday from Port Harcourt. Sunday, if you can hear us, please pick up and go straight to your contribution.
Okay, well, I want to comment. I want to comment that the chief want to pack about 400 workers for refusing to post them, for refusing posting them to handle the direction. So I want indeed, when we have a challenge of insecurity, you cannot take it when you will not be seen. Like in the case of some states that have insecurity in the school, that's because we didn't say because of school, they need to be placed in school. So we should look at it as the match. In every case, we will not do that because of position. We should, why they are rejecting the first, should reason with them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sunday.
I raised that issue. Yes, we know. Okay, you said that earlier, the issue of insecurity. Yes, maybe it will be the reason why some don't want to go. But even at that, we have to look even the nature of the reshufflement, if we are to call it that, or transfer, as it may be. You know, even the transfer, is it that these people that are carrying out are doing the right thing? Because in transferring people, somebody will just don't like your face in the office, and he will just say your time is due, or there's a need for your services somewhere, and then you will just see one place that is odd. So we have to check it even from that that lower level, and see, are they the people transferring or reposting people, are they doing the right thing? If they are doing the right thing, then I think the people that are being that are being posted should just do what the law says. If they find out that the both of them are not doing the right thing, then I think the law of the land should take place. That's my take.
Well, I respect your own stand. Is very vital that you're looking at it even in that angle, because if you see it that way, is based on morals and pure hatred, even for colleagues, and you being in position and sending people out because maybe you don't like their faces or one thing or the other. It has to do solely with you as a person and even your personality, which is wrong, and it's only you that will judge yourself, you know, and your whatsoever guilty conscience and all. I would like to look at the elephant in the room right now. We are talking head of service, we are talking broadly, we are talking widely. If we are talking reposting or posting people out of their state, or posting people out of where the location where they got the job and they've been working, and you're maybe taking them to the states where there are insecurity problems. Right now I can't even say, okay, this is a state that is safe, this is a state that is not safe. But we have it on record where we have the most hit insecurity states. If you're talking about the Northeast, if you're talking about, like I said, there are some states you can't even see, you can't say maybe they are safe or not. But is a problem already if you are not even safeguarding their lives, if you're not even assuring them that these states are safe and you're sending them there. It's wrong. We are in a country already, a situation in Nigeria where everywhere is not safe. Even you, your place that you think is a familiar ground for you, your own state, you feel unsafe about it, and you taking people out of their safe states to another places. First of all, what are the strategies put in place to curb insecurity? You know, we've been talking about insecurity, and it's as if we can't even emphasize on it. And this is one challenge already. This is one problem already, which we didn't even look at, you know, posting and reposting, even though we talked about the NYC, you know, leaving their own state, going to another. And there was a time that it was reported that in their handbooks, where when you are being kidnapped, yes. It's so sad that we've gotten like that as a country. You'll be wondering, is it a country or is it a gathering? Like, there is no structure, there is no system, there is no reformation, all these things that make up a country. We don't even have, you're talking posting, and you're talking posting out of states to other unsafe states. Why would these people reject it? Like I always say, there are some people that will feel, okay, it's better for them to lose their care of the ones they are leaving behind. It's sad.
You're right, it's sad. I have this, when I read it, like sacking someone because he congratulated somebody for winning an election. Joyce.
That's the APC.
Yes, the Anambra, is it and this is a ground that we are.
It shows how we hold on to our parties more than the interest of the people.
To state,
yes,
right?
And you know, it's reported that he has been suspended, I think till since June or June thereabout. He has been on suspension, and he came and he has been parading himself, according to them in court, that as being the national publicity secretary still. And at the end of the day, he was sacked because he can grouping, you know, to see that, yes, okay, if this man is coming out as the winner of the state or being the governor-elect, all effort should be on deck to see that he moves forward and moves the country forward. We should stop this hate. Our human nature should not come out, even in politics and in government. Let's look at the benefits of the people first before any other thing.
If it looks like it's not working, because that's what it seems. But I believe there are good ones there that are ready to die for this country, that even if you pay them how much to go out of this country, they will go and they will still come back, because their mind is that let Nigeria work. Let with her head high, you know, and then you will be proud that, yes, this is your country, this is where you're coming, that you will not be ashamed when they call your country and then your head is down, because you know, number one, they would talk about corruption, number two, insecurity, and that's what too much insecurity and the rest, and it's degrading. No matter what you have, no matter how intelligent, no matter how hardworking you are, you know, that thing gives you one kind of there's a way it demoralizes you and then makes you feel for those that are doing the right thing, we know them, we will blow their whistle, and we encourage them to continue doing what they are doing, because it is good out for what you believe and do what is right. Very Joyce, I think we have to wrap it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
People in positions. I just want to say that I represent the Nigerian youth. We have potentials. We are creative. We are hardworking. Why don't you make Nigeria together?
Thank you. Let's just work together and build this country. It's our own. I want to sincerely appreciate each and every one of you that are out there. And thank you so much. Keep sending your comment on Facebook.